So we were there before them, doing a lot of airstrikes, a lot of lethal dynamic targeting. And I was one of the guys that was controlling a lot of these strikes very close to the target area. And some of the strikes would kill 60 people, 80 people, huge ordnance dropped on these houses and buildings. And I had about 13 of them in a row that were huge numbers. And I had one that had 87 killed in action of enemy ISIS fighters. And the Target Engagement Authority, which is a one-star general, he was a conventional army general that was posted at Fort Hood, but was doubling his time as a Fort Hood general and a decision maker inside of this joint operations task force that we had. He's like, well, I've just never met one of you before. I'm thinking, like, first of all, what do you mean one of you? Like, who are you referring to when you say that? And do you even know like what I do? He never met a human intelligence collector face to face, which was a huge shock to me because he's a one-star general. Us on the ground would expect that a general would have met someone like us before, maybe not in that capacity in Iraq. And the second point that the reason he wanted to talk to me is I saw these numbers, and I'm approving all these strikes, and it says here 80. It was actually 86, and he said, I have a problem with that number. I was like, oh, what is that? And he said, well, it's divisible by 2. And I said, oh, okay, but that's the number. And I actually validated that with multiple other human sources who corroborated that as this even number doesn't feel true. And I said, well, what would you like me to do, sir? He's like, well, can you just make it an odd number?
Oh, God.
That's not the information that I received. And he's like, okay, but just, in the future, if you could make the numbers odd, they'd be better understood by my staff. And it kind of went on like that. It was the rest of the meeting. And it was just, the whole thing was a shock to me because I kind of put a lot of faith before that in these general officers, generalists, that they don't really understand what's happening on the ground. They're just approving stuff that someone else told them lower down the approval process, like, hey, I think that's a good idea. And the general just says, okay, I'm going to sign that now. And that was a interesting experience.